The Bog Witch update has transformed food in Valheim forever with 8 new potions, brand new powerful feasts, and major changes to the cooking systems. For starters, the cauldron has been split into 3 with the newly added mead kittle and preparation table where you will craft the powerful feasts, but more on that in a bit. Rather than crafting your mead bases at the cauldron, their recipes have been transferred to the kittle, which, like the cauldron, does require a fire underneath to function. Further, the visual icon representing each of the mead bases has been updated to have their own unique look, as you can see by comparing the mead bases prior to the update against those new in this patch. Of course, to craft the meads, you will need to build the kittle, which requires progression into the Black Forest through acquisition of tin, copper, and leather scraps from the meadows. Like the meads before them, all of the new ones will need to undergo the 2-day fermenting process, with each base yielding 6 potions aside from the Berserkir, which yields 3. In total, 7 new mead bases were added in this update, and an 8th potion, while not craftable, will be purchasable from the new NPC, the Bog Witch. And before covering each of them individually, it's worth noting that with more meads will come an increased number of buffs that can be applied simultaneously. The result of that now, going forward, status effects will be displayed in rows of a max of 7 in the top right of your screen before starting a new row of buffs. To get the effects of the new meads, most will require ingredients purchased from the new NPC, and for the most part will be available in her shop the second you find her. The exceptions being the Anti-Sting and Berserkir Meads, which are locked behind defeating Yagluth and Moder, respectively. The first and my personal favorite is the Tonic of Ratatosk, requiring honey, blueberries, and the squirrel hamstring, which will massively boost your walk and running speed by 15%, running skill by 10, and despite its exclusion from the description, your swimming speed by 7.5% for a total of 10 minutes. Second, the Draught of Vananidir for dandelions, perch, and fresh seaweed, allowing you to cross wider expanses of ocean by reducing stamina usage while swimming by 50% for 5 minutes. Third, the Mead of Troll Endurance, made with trollfish, honey, and powdered dragon eggshells, giving you troll strength, increasing carrying capacity by 250 for 5 minutes. Fourth, the Brew of Animal Whispers for onions, carrots, and pungent pebbles, which halves the amount of time required to tame a creature, which can be decreased further the more players nearby, also using the Animal Whispers Mead for a 10-minute duration. Fifth, the Lightfoot Mead for scale hide, feathers, and mage caps, giving you hair hops, increasing your jump height by 20%, and reducing stamina usage by 30% while jumping for 10 minutes. Sixth, in the Anti-Sting Concoction, crafted with cloudberries, grouper, and the fragrant bundle, which, unlike many of the other ingredients purchased from the Bog Witch, is locked behind a boss defeat, in this case, Yagluth. Popping this will not prevent aggro of Duskito, but prevent their stings for a full 10 minutes. Seventh, and maybe most powerful of the bunch, in the Berserkir Mead, with regular and yellow mushrooms and a toadstool, which, like the fragrant bundle, is locked behind a boss defeat, but this time, Moder. Once popped, your stamina usage is massively reduced by 80%, attacking, dodging, and blocking, but at the expense of a weakness to all physical damage. Unlike previous meads, the mead base for this one yields only 3, and further has a shorter lifespan of a mere 20 seconds. Considering its power, this seems to be a smart choice for balance. Conversely, this may still be too powerful, especially when combined with Bowmass's Forsaken Power, completely nullifying the downside of the mead. The 8th new potion, like previously mentioned, cannot be crafted, and rather is purchased from the Bog Witch for 110 coins. While this is certainly the most mysterious of the meads, it also appears to be the most disappointing. The best explanation I have heard with exactly how this works is from Blob Icy Cake over on the Valheim Discord, who stated that troll spawns within 100 meters of the player beyond 2,000 meters from the world's center will always have a 1 star, and further will have an increased chance of having 2 stars. Troll from raids will also always have 1 star, but those in troll caves are excluded from the potion's effect. To make matters better, no, definitely worse, the effects of this potion can compound if multiple players are using this. For what reason? I don't really know. For one, trolls do drop gold, and with so many wares for purchase from the new NPC, this could make for a good gold farm. Only time will tell. It's also worth mentioning that trolls can effectively smell you with this potion active, even if sneaking and outside of their line of sight. Plus, pink hearts will display around them when you are nearby, but nothing good appears to come from it. Before diving into the 8 new incredible feasts, here are the full details about the new meads, of which I will include a link for in the video description. Like Mead Bases, feasts have their own dedicated cooking appliance in the food preparation table, which you likely won't craft until progressing to the swamp, as it requires iron in addition to fine wood and leather scraps. While all the feasts are crafted at this table, it's worth noting a series of other foods have been relocated here from the cauldron. In short, any food that needs to be cooked in the oven prior to being edible will be found here, like unbaked lox pie, bread, and uncooked misthair supreme, to name a few. However, here is also where you will craft each of the fishing baits and convert fish into raw fish. And like the meads, I have a full breakdown of each of Valheim's foods and where you will now craft them following this update, and of course, we'll leave a link in the video description. And while you were reviewing the spreadsheet, you likely noticed the recipes for the massive feasts. These new meals leverage existing cooked foods and new ingredients sold by the Bog Witch for massive placeable dinners that can be consumed by you and your server mates. To facilitate their serving, a new tool has been added that will need to be purchased in the serving tray. With it equipped, all food, meads, and feasts can be placed on any floor or table without the use of item stands. In fact, feasts, unlike meads and food, cannot be consumed directly from your inventory and must be placed before you can eat them. To reclaim placed food, meads, or feasts, you must use the serving tray or destroy the supporting structure. Otherwise, the Viking will eat the consumable if able. Keep in mind, beware of retrieving feasts. While they have 10 uses after placing, if any one of those uses has been consumed, removing the feast will destroy it permanently rather than return it to your inventory. Fortunately, the tray shares an obvious warning to help prevent you from making this mistake. Another feature I appreciated about the feast is that each one has 4 visual phases that represent its consumption as illustrated here, shown with 10, 6, 3, and 0 meals remaining. Of course, you will learn quickly these are expensive to cook, but in my opinion are absolutely worth it, firstly for their great stats, and secondly, their massive 55-minute duration. Moreover, the hope is that the buff's duration will reduce the need for players to carry food and therefore make additional inventory space available, very likely music to the ears of many a Viking. With them out of the way, you might be wondering, what are the different feasts and how can I cook them? Unlike the meads, most of the ingredients purchased from the Bog Witch to enable the feast recipes are locked behind boss defeats, starting with the woodland herb blend behind the elder. With the elder out of the way, purchase and combine the herb blend with cooked deer, boar, and dandelions for the whole roasted meadows boar, deer stew, thistle, and queen's jam for the Black Forest buffet platter, and sausages, blood bags, and turnip stew for the swamp dweller's delight. From here, each subsequent feast is unlocked following the defeat of a boss, with the exception of the sailor's bounty, requiring the seafarer's herbs, made available after defeating a serpent, and is then combined with cooked fish, serpent, and thistle. Motor for the Mountain Peak pepper powder, cooked with wolf skewers, onion soup, and carrots for the Hardy Mountains lager stew. Yagluth for the Grasslands Herbalist Harvest, placed alongside bread, lox meat pie, and cloudberries for the Plains Pie Picnic. The Queen for the herbs of the Hidden Hills, to be sautéed with misthair supreme, cooked seeker meat, and yggdrasil porridge. And Fader for the fiery spice powder, tossed together with cooked aspen tail, vineberry clusters, and scorching medley. And after cooking all that grub, you will undoubtedly level up your new cooking skill, which I talk all about, in addition to everything else in this update, right here.